hello, and welcome back to another episode of Podcast Assemble, the show where you come for your rambling geeky download. My name's Tommy, and I am delighted, as always, to be joined by my friend and co-host from across the pond. It's our resident Alan of the pod, DL.
Hello.
How are you, mate?
I resent that.
Back in the room, baby.
I'm back in person, and you call me an Alan. There's mad Kenergy here. Come on.
I don't know.
Look at this
Kenergy.
outfit. This is all Kenergy.
Nah, it's
This is so
not bright
Ken.
enough.
True. It's very.
I
it's
do
more
want
brown.
one of those hoodies. Have you seen them?
No.
You can buy a hoodie with like Kenergy on it. The one he wears at the end of the film.
Oh no.
It's so good.
He was wearing that in like interviews, I think,
Was he really?
for the movie.
Oh, man, it's just such a dreamboat. He's definitely up there with my men crushes in Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, he's not even like a traditional good-looking dude, though.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But also with Eva Mendes, so there's got to be something about him.
No, of course. Like,
has to be something about the guy.
For sure.
How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Been back?
It's
jet lagged?
Not anymore. It's been like a week and a half. I'm getting up at like 6 a.m. instead of 4. So that's
so your regular
kind
time.
of normal, right?
Yeah, getting up at normal time.
But I was getting up at 4 for a while. But I'm good, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's good to have you back in the flesh.
Thank you.
That's a weird thing to say.
To be back. Well,
The
it wasn't weird till you said it. Now it is. Now
Sounds
I'm thinking you meant something different.
Yeah. It puts
and
the
I'm
lotion
wondering if I need to run.
on the skin.
Run.
You had a good time back at home?
Yeah, it was really good. I got to hang out with my brother a lot.
Nice.
Watched a bunch of good shows, referred you to a bunch of them,
Now, you
which you instantly got addicted to.
Yeah,
of
course.
But
But you didn't watch the movie we're talking about while you were in the States. You watched it when you came
No,
back.
I watched it. I watched Opie in the States, and then I watched this
Opie.
on the way.
my friends
when
in
I
the
was
show,
back.
Ollie calls it Oppenheimer. And I don't know what
Oppenheimer?
triggers me every time. They're like
Yeah,
my
it's like
OCD
he's gonna
triggers.
Kill himself? It's fucking Oppenheimer.
So annoying.
That's very, very dark.
He is Irish.
Yeah,
You can get away with it.
Oppenheimer.
We were talking about this actually as well. So you know the cinema we went to see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I forget, but it's like it's kind of how far is
It's the
it?
Ritz down over in Randwick. So
Yeah,
it's
it's in
like,
Randwick.
It's a little drive. It's
not
probably
that
like
far, but it was
15
like
minutes.
not in the east, like
No.
the Bondi.
Oh, it's
well,
in-
I mean, it is east.
It's in the
but
east.
It wasn't like
Come
in the
on.
city, Surrey or Bondi. Like it was like
Sure.
more south or something. I don't know.
Well, that one cinema is apparently showing Oppenheimer in the, was it the 35 mil? What it's supposed to be shown in?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So like, there's part of me that's like, oh, I could spend another 3 hours and go and see that again. I know.
I would be
I
down,
know.
but maybe not like right away.
Yeah.
Like can you just do that in 2 months?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I'd be down.
I'm down to see it again though. I
I
feel
would
like,
probably leave in the back half though. Honestly,
yeah,
I don't
that
need to
last
watch
40
the
minutes.
end again. Yeah,
When you see that, well, after the scene where all the horror stuff happens, that we
yeah,
talked
that'd
about,
probably be when I would leave.
then you'd be like, yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
get it. I've seen it now.
Yeah.
Hey guys, look, if you want to stick around and listen to us bantering about our day, feel free. Otherwise, you can skip around. There will be time codes in the description.
There will also be a box for you to review us,
There will.
so you should fucking do that.
Always give us a review. 5 stars
Yeah,
if you can,
please.
baby.
I said fucking, but I meant please. Fucking please.
Fucking please. We deserve it. I think we deserve it
At this point, you know,
We're 113 episodes in,
we've been
man.
in the
We
game long enough.
deserve it.
You can tell us what you think if you've been listening.
But the time
Yes.
codes will be supplied once again by friend of the show and editing genius, Mr. Matthew Bliss of Bliss.fm, who's back, baby! And we will give you all his details at the end of the show. Stick around. If you're looking for a podcast editor, he is your man. DL,
User,
what have you been up to this week?
what have I been
What have you
up
been up
to, dude? I was so addicted to True Detective season 3.
Season 3.
I went through it. I would like do the episode. I'd go listen to like the Rewatchables podcast on the episode that I just watched after.
For real.
Do my theorizing and then watch the next episode.
Question before you carry
Yes.
on. Who is running those episodes of the Rewatchables? 'Cause who's the main guy?
Oh fuck, I forget what their name.
You know,
this,
the old
but this was
dude.
deep because it was like a 2018 episode. Actually, no, it wasn't the Rewatchables. What am I saying? It was the chick that's now at.
The Rewatchables.
She's now at The Ringer, but she was at Vanity Fair before.
Oh, okay.
She does the one with the other girl.
Matt, splice in a name here.
It's
Joanna something.
Anyway, she was. It was good, and but it was more the theorizing. Like I wanted to get in on the theorizing without going on Reddit, which would all be kind of
Just
ruined
tell
by
you
now.
everything.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that was fun. And I just really, and it was a return to form for that show. I think.
How good is season 3?
Yeah, it's not as good as season 1, but it's only because it's not as novel.
But
Like it's
that's
a similar concept of the timelines of the detectives.
We've talked about the Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore of TV shows, like season 1 Mount Rushmore specifically.
Yeah.
And True Detective season 1 is 100% on that for me.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
without question.
But I think that it is as good of quality. It's just because it's not the first one by the guy, it's hard to like capture the same energy.
Kenergy.
And also, I think as much as I like their dynamic, as it is a good dynamic as like brothers in arms, as detectives, it just can't beat Woody Harrelson and Matthew
who might
McConaughey.
actually be brothers. Who?
That's not a thing. Like you said, there's no evidence for that.
No, there isn't. Who is the other main lead? Because I remember Mahershala Ali.
His name is Stephen Dorff or something.
Oh, Stephen Dorff.
Isn't it him?
You mean the guy from Blade?
Am I making? I think
Blade,
he is. Yeah,
Blade 1999.
I think it is him. Let me confirm that in 3.
So the Blood Tornado.
2, 1. Yeah, Stephen Dorff as Roland West.
Because I'd forgotten he was in that.
He's good. He's good. He's just not as good as Mahershala Ali.
I mean, who is really though?
And he's not as good as like the combo of McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. They were because they like hated each other as well.
Oh, they had a real
like,
passion.
Like in the show.
Passionate hate for each other.
Yeah.
They tried to do a little bit of that in the 3rd season, if I remember correctly.
They do at the end, and it's like not really. It's like you would be. It's like fair.
Yeah.
Whereas like I think in the other show, like McConaughey just bugs Harrelson a lot because he's just so out.
But then
there.
he sleeps with his wife.
Well, that also is,
that would bug you.
Yes.
That would bug
that
you.
Also, I forgot
lot.
about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Great TV show though. I might go back and watch the 2nd series just for sake's sake to see.
Have you never seen it?
I haven't seen the 2nd.
Oh, then
series.
yeah, go ahead and watch it. It's not very good.
But everyone just said it was so bad. I was like, I don't
like
care
it's Colin Farrell's interesting, but it's like it's the Adam Driver award for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Same with
Colin Farrell, man. He is consistent.
Yeah, no, he is. He's good.
I can't think of a bad performance by him.
He's a good actor. He just like once he stopped doing things like SWAT, it all worked out.
And Daredevil back in the 2000s.
Well, he tried to get Daredevil and he didn't get it. So he
became Bullseye.
They gave him Bullseye.
Stop it.
Yeah, he auditioned for Daredevil.
Did he really? I never knew that.
Yeah.
I've been up to some fun stuff this week, DL. Well, okay, right. I'm going to retract that statement immediately.
You've been up to some shitty stuff.
The opposite to the thing you said of, being really excited about the thing and enjoying the thing you watched.
Yeah.
I watched the rest of the 3rd season of The Witcher and I wish I hadn't. Like, it was...
I told you.
Awful.
Yeah, I told you.
Just not like bad TV. None of it. I didn't like any of it.
Yeah, it's not... You didn't like any of it?
I like that one episode
that's good.
That one episode.
And it's not even good. It's just like, okay.
It just does something
average.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
But there was a really interesting quote, and I couldn't tell from the article I was reading if it was the guy who writes the books or just some Polish dude who was like, this was a quote that was translated from Polish to English, then back to Polish for some reason, but basically said like, the reason the show is bad because it's been dumbed down for American audiences. And I'm like,
that's not entirely fair though.
It's not at all. It's like, for one, you don't have to dumb things down. Like if you look at like Game of Thrones, they just threw you in. Like,
which by the way is an American author, fucker.
Well,
and it's one of the more sophisticated shows. Like
it's great.
I think that's
never end, but the book series that is.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's unfair.
I think that's unfair.
There's a lot of us that are smart. There's a lot of us that are dumb.
But there's a lot of us who really like sci-fi. Well, it's not really sci-fi, is it? It's action fantasy with sci-fi elements.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I just like people like hard.
Give me good hardcore
stuff. Yeah,
give me good hardcore.
You got issues today. I don't know what you're getting at.
My brain is going somewhere else. But like, yeah, I'm 100% with you. Like, audiences can take it. We're in 2023. Give us that weirdness.
You know what I'm realizing?
Give me the Baba Yaga.
Your jersey kind of looks like you're like some kind of knight.
A knight?
Like a knight.
How so?
I don't,
Give me like.
Is that a soccer jersey? You look like you're a part of like. Moving on. Have you seen that Unknown Cosmos Time Machine documentary on Netflix?
I watched the other. I've not put this in my list, but I watched the other one.
I'm halfway through it.
Okay, all right.
And it's like really interesting.
The one about the Lost Pyramid. That's the one I watched.
I've saved that.
Okay, all right.
But I'm like, now I just question all Egyptian.
Everything
about Egypt ever since that podcast and fucking Graham Hancock. So I'm like, I don't want to hear what these infidels, lying motherfuckers have to say. No, I need to watch it. I want to. It's saved. But
I don't think the pyramid one's as good as I was hoping it was going to be.
Oh, is it not?
We'll talk about it next week. But like, it's still good. Tell me more about this one.
This one's just about the James Webb Telescope.
Oh yeah, okay.
And how they're like. It seems to be, I'm halfway through. It seems to be following like the launch. We know it's been successful.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Or actually,
okay. I don't think it's launched yet.
Maybe I'm assuming it's going to be successful.
I don't think it's launched yet.
I want it to be successful for them. Anyway, it's following the build of it.
Sure.
and like what it's going to try and do, which is basically like you can, by looking that far out,
Yeah.
you're basically seeing the past.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just it was
Because
just kind of heady.
the light's so old.
Yeah. It's like 18,000 years old.
Holy shit.
I don't know what it is, but it's some crazy amount of old.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So you're seeing glimpses into like what the universe looked like in the past.
Netflix has this weird thing at the minute. And
Documentaries on Netflix are good.
yeah, but they also seem to be in this stage where they're creating programs, especially documentaries, that the whole story hasn't been told yet.
Yeah, they're kind of, that's actually true.
Yeah,
there's a lot of those because it's like trying to be timely with like what the news is.
Yeah,
almost.
It's trying to be zeitgeist.
It's almost like rushing them out. But some of them are bad, some of them are good.
I mean, they're not all bad, but I'm saying like I would like to see a full story, you know? Like I want to know what happened.
No, they're not cool. They're not about that life. They like to cancel shit before you get to know what's going on.
Cancel shit before you get anywhere near the end of it. But we'll talk about the other one. Let's talk about that next week in the pyramid one too, because I'll maybe try and watch that. We'll switch. We'll swap over.
Swappy.
We did a fun thing, and we've been actually ever since the new Mission Impossible film came out and we saw it in cinemas. I saw it with the partner.
Yeah.
We've been kind of going in reverse order through the Mission Impossibles, so they've been gradually getting worse.
Want to be more confused?
No, I actually really like the latest one. So we actually watched Mission Impossible Fallout recently, which
that is a good one. We saw that together, didn't we?
I think we did.
Yeah, that's the one with Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. He does the loading arms bit where
I don't mind that.
Locks his arms.
Yeah,
I think that's so good. Like the twist is good. Like I'd forgotten some of the ending parts of it.
Yeah,
the fact that they planted the nuclear bombs where his like wife was, like, you know, Ethan Hunt's previous wife. Like it's all a bit nonsense and a bit like in the air, but I really liked that bad guy. He was like, he was really greasy.
Yeah.
But like, who's the dude who leaked all the documents?
I don't really remember.
The WikiLeaks guy.
I just remember Henry Cavill's like a villain in the end.
He was sort of in the mold of the WikiLeaks guy, and I really liked that. It was really interesting. It was like a good. I mean, it's from like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't worry about spoilers at this point.
Fair.
But do you remember that film? What did you?
Yeah, no, I did like it more than the other ones.
Yeah.
I do remember that. I do. I liked it more than the recent one we saw.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't really like that one as much.
We talked about that recently. Go back and listen to our episode on the latest Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning film.
And then I'd say the last thing I watched.
Yeah.
It was just like a Western from the 50s.
Ooh, tell me.
The Rio Bravo. Something about a good Western, an old school Western that's good, that I know is going to be, you know, kind of weird and a bit outdated. It just like puts me at ease, bro.
Really?
I fall asleep. I never watch it in one instance. I fall asleep every time because it like puts me in this like happy, nostalgic state. But I'm almost done with the Rio Bravo. It's a John Wayne film. It's actually highly rated, one of the more highly rated ones, about a small town sheriff in the American West, right?
Oh. Does it remind you of like, I don't know, I'll tell you what Westerns remind me of. They remind me of going around to like my grandfather's house and sitting there, and without fail, every time he would sit there and say, I've never seen this one. This is really new. And then 20 minutes, 30 minutes in, he'd go, oh yeah, this happens. And you'd go, you just ruined the movie for me. Like without fail, every time.
I mean, like my grandpa, like, I don't even know if he liked Westerns, but I don't know how I got into them, man. I think I just like it's a natural thing in me. I like
not
them.
necessarily Westerns, but like generally like films from his generation. He always
it's made in the 50s, right? And it's an interesting story though. It's about like this guy who's basically a sheriff that he's basically captured some criminal whose brother's really rich and always gets him out of it, but this guy's an outlaw and he's like putting up a stand, but the only help he's got in this little town is this drunken like sheriff deputy with him who's like getting sober to help him actually defend this choice that he's made to like take a stand.
And it's Clint Eastwood.
No, it's John Wayne. It's even older. Yeah, it's older.
What year do you reckon that's from?
1959.
Hell yeah, it is.
It's old.
So
I'll tell you how it ends. 8 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb.
Oh, that's good.
Highly rated John Wayne movie. And I can understand why. The acting is actually it's not too, you know, there's elements of it like you can tell this is a 50s movie.
Hokey?
But it's, a little like, you know, the scene with the girl and that, you know, that's always there.
They always have to shoehorn that crap in with the girl. Well, final thing from me this week. That's exciting. We definitely have to start that Cowboys and Indians. You can't say that anymore. We definitely have to start that Western anthology.
We got to finish one of our anthologies.
We got to do anthologies first.
Once we finish an anthology, I'll let us start a Western one because I have so many.
Want to do a Western
want to,
one.
but I don't want to like. I want to complete something.
What about a modern Western one?
I'm down with that. There's plenty. I think I've seen them all though.
What's a good modern? We did a Western. We did the one with Idris Elba and.
Yeah, that's like a modern one. True Grit is probably
True Grit?
that's one of my favorites.
I don't think I've seen that.
The assassination of Jesse James.
I've seen that, I think.
That's not really modern. It's like in the last 20 years, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, that's modern.
Yeah.
That's more modern than 1959.
I mean, yeah, there's degrees.
Three
to this
Cent to Yuma. That's supposed to be a good one as well.
Yeah, I've seen that one. There's another one with Joaquin Phoenix. Something Brothers. I forget.
Okay,
there's a lot.
We're writing a list for ourselves
We
here.
can find
Somebody
them.
put this as on a list for us and let us know.
Yeah.
Final one I did, and I think you tried to talk a little bit about it last week, but last time we recorded, was The Bear.
Yes.
Which we ended up powering through season 1.
Have you started season 2 yet? I haven't.
Not yet. I
No.
haven't started yet. We flicked on something else beforehand, but it like the first episode really threw us. Like really threw us.
Yeah,
to
it's
the point
intense.
we were like, we almost didn't carry on watching. So I'm glad we did. Lots of questions about the finale. But I know you're not happy with the questions.
I hate these questions.
So spoilers for The Bear.
Yeah, tomato sauce.
Talk about the tomato sauce.
I only get the money in the tomato sauce.
Talk to me about it.
What do you mean? I thought it was
You
like
said
a
he could
pinnacle.
weld.
It's
I'm
a pinnacle
like,
character moment. Why are you worried about the?
tomato sauce.
It doesn't make
You need
sense.
a can opener to open it.
It doesn't make sense.
How would you put it in?
put it anywhere else?
He could be a welder. He looks like he's got welder's hands.
Put a hidey hole somewhere in the restaurant.
No, because it ties back to the narrative moment of him hating the fucking pasta. He's like, we're not making the pasta anymore. It's mushy. It's and it's like that. It ties back to like it's now his again, and he can say fuck the pasta. The pasta is actually his way out. It's like a narrative moment.
The irony of that. Okay,
Yes.
that makes a lot of sense. I like that.
And like the fact that the note spoilers, the whole season's been him dealing with his brother's death, and he finally gets the suicide note, expecting it to be this big thing, and it's just
not.
like
Yeah.
not. It's
Yeah.
like
I like
fucking rock on or whatever he says, or
Yeah, I
like
like
shred it,
Yeah.
and then it's like the recipe to the pasta he doesn't give a fuck about, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and he literally like laughs, and it's like such a pinnacle moment. And Tommy's answer to that is,
How would he get it in?
How would he get in the tomato
How would he
sauce?
put the cash in the tomato sauce?
the cash is all in the tomato sauce. Spoilers. Like,
Give me 5 ways you could put in the tomato sauce. That doesn't include welding.
well, that's literally one
Because
of
you
the
couldn't
ways.
weld it shut and it looked the same. Nonsense. The
Who-
whole thing is nonsense.
Maybe he knows the wholesaler, the maker of the tomato sauce, and he paid them
It's
to do
a
that.
real stretch.
No, it's a local food market.
Real stretch.
It's a local food market. He knows the canner. It's Chicago, bro. It's Chicago.
I like
the
that.
manufacturing, man.
Look, I didn't like the way it was presented, but the ending was nice. You know, they had the
Chicago.
found family moment. They all got together, and now they're able to do their own thing, and it changes from the beef to the
Fuck,
bear.
it makes me hungry watching that shit,
Wow,
though.
me too. Every time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily when they're doing the fancy shitty food. You know, when it has a flashback. When
Yeah.
they're doing the big fat sandwiches.
that's-
I'm
of
like,
course, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm like, get
Or
me one
like
of
when
those.
she's cooking that one meal that like when she's like pissed, Sydney's pissed and she leaves.
the cola
Yeah,
ribs things.
whatever it was,
Yeah.
fucking good.
Yeah. Oh my god. I
Or the
want cola
risotto.
ribs. Did you happen to watch Secret Invasion yet?
I don't know if I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Do I have to for this podcast? Is that a must?
The more I think about it, the more it annoys me.
I don't think I'm gonna.
In general,
I talked to a friend of the show, Stainsy, and he's like, "Yeah,
Dick
just
Staines?
fucking save yourself." Yeah,
like you could watch it, you might have a good time with it.
Yeah.
I just think nothing happened.
I
In
think
that
if
show.
you didn't have a good time with it, I'm not gonna have a good time with
but
it.
we have different opinions regularly.
But we
Yeah.
do, and usually you are more forgiving, I think, of Marvel than I can be. I don't know.
I'll give you that.
Not
I'll give
like
you
in a bad way. I'm just kind of over it if it's not called Loki, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Mhm.
and maybe Thor / what's the other guy? Magician dude.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, him.
Go check out my latest YouTube video on Podcast Assemble on YouTube. I did a fantastic video about how Loki might introduce the X-Men. Go check it out. But it just annoys me, DL, because nothing fucking happens.
Yeah,
It's
like
6 episodes of nothing.
why would they make it?
Nothing.
Why would they make it?
Why did they make it?
I don't know.
It's
Why? I'm
pointless.
asking you.
It's a completely pointless show. And you know what's ironic, and it makes me really uncomfortable to say this? Peacemaker was a better version of the Secret Invasion storyline than this fucking show was. Like the show, 6 episodes, 40 plus minutes an episode, nothing happened.
I'll tell you what. I cannot stand a show that has the audacity to make their episodes 40 minutes where there's no fucking point.
Like it ends almost exactly at the same
Yeah.
spot it begins at.
Say what you will about Yellow Jackets and their length. There's a lot to explore there.
but it's worth it.
Yes.
It's a good like deep dive into the human psyche.
40 minutes
This is nothing.
of Marvel fucking not even like tasteless carbs is like not what I need.
It's completely pointless.
Yeah.
It's wasted calories is what it is.
That's what I'm
And
saying. It's like white bread.
the things that the show ends with, which are the big deals, the big spoilers. I'm like,
Just tell me what it is. Can we spoil
Nobody
it?
cares. Do you want me to spoil it?
Yes, but what's the takeaway?
Spoilers. The big deal is that Rhodey was taken by the Skrulls at some point. Marvel keeps changing their mind because people are getting pissed at them. And
Who's Rhodey? I don't know who this is.
War Machine,
Oh, okay.
who's the president's right-hand man. And Gaia, who is Amelia Clark Khaleesi, gets like all the powers of the Avengers. So she's just this crazy strong being out of nowhere. But like there's a big fight scene with another one of the Skrulls who has all the powers as well. They both have all the powers and they're fighting each other. Complete nonsense battle. It's doing stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, we found out through Doctor Strange, we sat through a whole movie of finding out that magic is learnt and it takes time.
Yes.
She just uses the bad guy from Corvus Clave. He's the bad magician guy from the Infinity War and Endgame. Just uses his powers like, she's been doing it forever. And I'm like, why make us sit through movies of this stuff to just be this dickish about it?
This sucks for that. Yeah.
Like,
that's not
I didn't
good.
mean to get this angry, Dre.
No, but it doesn't sound good.
And then it ends with Nick Fury just going back to space. You're like,
Nothing.
what was the point in coming back? You didn't achieve it. In fact, if anything, he's made the situation worse than when he came back.
Well, I agree with you. And I think maybe this is a good time to transition to Have You Heard?
Have you heard? I haven't had a jingle in a while, DL. Do you want to bring a jingle
I
back?
think you just did. I will say this. You're right. Peacemaker was a better version of this
Peacemaker was
storyline.
great.
And you know who else thinks that there's more to be told from
Please.
the old DC world is James Gunn. Because news has it that Wonder Woman 3 is being developed with James Gunn. And I think somebody else. What's the other
Gal
guy's name?
Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot. But there's another person, Peter something.
Oh, Saffron.
I don't know. Was he big in the DC world? I don't know.
He is not dissimilar to how... Well, it's Gunn and Saffron. They're
Okay. They're
co-leads.
Okay.
But he'd had like a history of doing producing, not dissimilar to how Kevin Feige was working on it previously. But this is fun news.
Well, it's interesting. It means that she's in. Did we know that before?
Didn't know anything before.
We didn't know if she was in.
Yeah.
So that means she's still in. Well, it doesn't mean it's in his world, but you have to imagine it is if he's doing it.
I would say they'd probably change it. I mean, like, I think the whole point of that Flash movie was to say that things have changed.
But they didn't really say that.
No.
It
was a bad movie.
They kind of did.
It was a bad movie.
They like dabbled with that, but then they didn't bring anyone from the James Gunn world.
Well,
so I think they're just saying that
well.
maybe they could mix it up again.
Well, the one thing we didn't see was the post-credit stinger, which was Aquaman still being the same guy. So it's still Jason Momoa, who's Aquaman.
Did we? Oh yeah, we left.
We left because it was bad.
We left. Okay,
but this is fun,
so
man.
that infers that
This
there
is
could be other people that are the same
fun news
in this new world.
Yes,
Okay,
agreed.
understood. Okay.
Would you give Gal Gadot one more chance as Wonder Woman? Because 1984, whatever it was bad.
Yeah, but that was just the writing.
Yeah, well,
Was
Patty
she
Jenkins
bad?
isn't coming back.
Was she bad?
I don't think she was bad in it.
Like I don't. Look, I like her. I don't think she's the best actress, to be frank.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's a good Wonder Woman.
I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to be.
I couldn't see her in Schindler's List, but she's great in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's,
I
she's
feel
not
you.
winning any Oscars
I feel you.
right now.
Yeah.
She just released a Netflix movie, I think, and
I'm
it
sure it's bad.
looks
Is that the
the
Nile
same
one?
as all of them. No, you're thinking of Death on the Nile.
Yeah, I
That's
thought
from
I
a while
love that
ago.
those kind of movies, but like the fact that she was in it, I was like, it's not gonna be good.
Oh, I don't
She's
mind her
not
in that.
getting she's not getting those kind of roles in like
She's like a
scripts
lead.
that are really epic.
She's like a lead spy in it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't really
But
like.
that's the thing that she does.
It's very Netflix.
Yeah.
They probably gave like 25 million and it'll get like 25 views.
Yeah.
Did you know that Red Notice is apparently the most watched streamed movie
No
of
one
all
believes
time?
that.
No, me neither, but they
No one-
really want you to believe that
Dude, it's
because they paid
propaganda.
so much to get those 3 people in it who didn't give a shit.
It's propaganda. It's crazy, like why they demand so much money.
That's nuts.
Like, do they just slay it at the? Did those movies slay the box office that they're in?
Well, the Rock ones used to before he fell off a cliff because of, well, you know, like Black Adam and demands for those movies. So, like,
But I
those
guess
movies-
my point is, when he's in movies, do they fucking slay?
That's
still?
what I'm saying. They used to call him, I told you this before, they used to call him Hollywood Viagra.
Yeah, I
Because
remember.
He came into the Fast and Furious franchise and it all of a sudden
And he
went
was,
through
and
the
it got
roof.
really hard.
They did, yes. Yes,
This
DL.
became a really hard watch.
We-
I could
Did
not.
you hear about the Viagra eye
I
drops?
could not finish the movie.
They make you look hard.
I couldn't finish.
What were we talking
There's
about?
nothing little about that.
Very true.
Quite endorsed.
Yes, effectively, he revives franchises, I believe, is the point. So, yes, they used to make monies.
Okay, he revives franchises.
G.I. Joe did well after he
Got
joined it.
Got it. Like
Stuff
Viagra
and things.
revives old men's sex lives. Got
Of
it.
course.
I
yes.
understand the simile analogy.
I was trying to think of a good segue from that, but there isn't one, so I'm just Friend of the show, Matt Bliss. Actually, thank you for all the editing today, Mr. Matthew Bliss. We really appreciate it. But he sent a piece of news, which I'd missed, and I know you're going to be excited to hear about because you still haven't watched this
I actually have it.
bloody show.
I have it saved in my Amazon.
Well, watch it already.
I'm going to now because I just finished True Detective.
Invincible Season 2. It's here, baby. It's coming. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to apparently premiere on November the 3rd. I think it's coming out in 2 parts, so I'm not sure if the writer's strike / actor strike is going to affect the second part,
Got it.
which is interesting. But it's about time you watched it, my dude.
Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm ready. I was waiting for the second season. That's it. That's why I did it.
Why are you waiting for the second season? It's
I know.
interesting because I don't think this is going to cost them a lot of money. Like, this is that kind of almost Dragon Ball Z style animation where not a lot happens and then like a bunch of stuff happens, then not a lot happens. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
totally.
it's quite static. It's not like Rick and Morty where everyone's moving constantly and it's like, it's that, you know, their mouth moves and then there's a big fight.
Rick and
scene.
Morty's more like intense animation.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's coming back too. There was a trailer for the next season.
I
of that
swear I
show.
already saw most of what happened in that trailer.
That was the point. It was like a recap trailer.
Oh, okay.
There's just a bit at the end where it's like, 100 years, Marty.
Yeah.
We're doing this again.
Okay.
I- Failed my audition for Rick, obviously.
So I have a question for you.
Please.
Is 0% of anything 0? Because if so,
This is a
The
leading
Meg
question.
2 as a movie doesn't actually exist. And
Well.
like John Cena is invisible.
Well, let me give you some stats about this.
Go on,
And
John
you
Cena.
were going to be so surprised. So in its first weekend in, you know, the US and outside, it's just Meg 2 The Trench. Don't know why there's no the in there. Its critical reception was 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was doing nothing. It did go up to 22%. So right now, you know,
So what does that mean?
22,
Someone gave it
22
like
people out of
like
100.
40?
So 5 people have seen it and one of them liked it.
One of them gave it a 40. Like,
Well, interestingly, so, you know, it's like a schlocky, you know about the Meg, right? It's about the
it's so
Megalodon.
dumb.
Schlocky, big monster movie. But in the beautiful nonsense that is the film industry,
Yes.
this is now one of the highest opening weekends has had one of the highest opening weekends of the year because it came out in China. So because the Chinese market was invested in this, the Chinese market, I didn't realize this,
They love
they
Sharks?
only release a limited amount of Hollywood created movies a year. It's like 5 or something crazy. It's bare minimal. So if you get that market, you're pretty much going to make money. And this has apparently a large Chinese actor base in it. So like one of the main characters is like a big action star in China, apparently. So now, after hitting a 0% critical reception for the critics in its opening weekend, it's one of the biggest openings of the year. Can you believe that?
No, but I mean, look,
Like,
there's
no?
a lot of stuff about China that I do not know or understand well. So maybe I'm uneducated.
Power to our
The
future
Meg-
overlords.
The Meg.
No, but they like giant monster movies, right? Like we all do.
Like the Japanese.
And it's like the Japanese do. And it's fucking up big cities. Like, I imagine the Meg 2 is pretty fun.
I bet it's terrible.
Yeah, me too. But would
Gail
you...
made me watch the first one.
I was about to ask if you'd watch it.
Yeah, I had to watch the first one.
Would you?
Would I
Go
watch-
back and
would
watch
I
the second one?
No.
Knowing that it's
Fuck no.
more Megs.
Fuck no.
It's more Megs.
I don't care.
It's more Jason Statham being bald and exciting.
Yeah, it's more of everything I don't want.
What if I said next week we're doing Meg 2 The Trench for the podcast?
I wouldn't show. I'd strike. I'd
join the
I'd
picket
align
line.
with Hollywood.
You joined the picket line. Brilliant. Well, final bit of news then before we move on, DL. Did you hear this week? Fantastic Four rumors. They're abound. They're still in the popular spotlight. But apparently, I like these actually, by the way. So Vanessa Kirby has reportedly been cast by comicbook.com as Vanessa Kirby. Yeah, she is Vanessa Kirby. That doesn't make sense. As Sue Storm, who is the Invisible Woman.
As herself, playing herself
She's
within her own mind.
What's that John Malkovich movie? Being John Malkovich is just that. She's just herself walking around. So Vanessa Kirby playing Vanessa Kirby in the Fantastic Four. She is the actor who was in Mission Impossible.
Who is Sue?
She's the Invisible Woman. Yes.
Is that the one we thought that Margot Robbie got?
Yes.
Oh,
Correct.
Okay.
I don't think Adam Driver's apparently not in either. He apparently didn't connect with the character. But Joseph Quinn.
That's like some studio execs saying, like, let's fuck with Adam Driver for not taking this. You didn't connect. Gay. Like,
No,
like, for sure.
no.
That
I
some
imagine
Warner
Adam
Brothers,
Driver.
like, some exec, not Warner Brothers, Marvel exec, somebody up there is just like, this guy.
Fuck this guy.
You didn't take our role.
I imagine Adam Driver's just like, I didn't connect with
Emotional
the
like
character.
that?
Yeah.
You're just
I
imagining
think he's
him
that
like
guy.
Okay.
I do think he's that guy. I think he's the artsy type.
I wouldn't connect with that character either.
Well, Joseph Quinn, who you will remember from Stranger Things as the kid who played the guitar, can't remember, Eddie, maybe?
Eddie,
Yeah, he's apparently going to be Johnny Storm, who is the flame guy,
Okay.
who Chris Evans
Good
played in
actor.
the crap 2000s movies.
Good actor.
Yeah, looks way different with just normal hair.
Yeah, but like his eccentric energy, he might be able to play. I think he'll play it well.
Yeah. I think so too. I think Vanessa Kirby as Vanessa Kirby will be great. She's back. She was made. She was made to play herself.
Yeah, I don't know her well.
Well,
What is she in?
I was about to say she is from the two latest Mission Impossible movies. She was the White Widow. Do you remember the White Widow in this one? So in the latest one, when it's old mate Haley Atwell on the train, she's blonde,
Yeah.
and Haley Atwell swaps faces with her for a while.
Oh yeah, that girl. Yeah.
Yeah, you 100%.
I know. But what else is she in?
I have absolutely no idea. That's all I remember.
Pieces of a Woman.
Bunch of things and stuff, I assume.
Lots of Mission Impossibles.
Yeah. Hey guys, look, if we've missed any news, which we probably have, and we don't really mean news, probably fun things we're seeing on Instagram, hit us up, send us them over. You can find us at Podcast Assemble or thepodcastassemble@gmail.com. Send us over. We love it when you do. Send us memes. We haven't had memes in a while. My God, we haven't had memes in a while. DL.
Yes.
Do you want to preface our main topic?
This
Main topic,
week's
baby!
main topic is the sequel to the Opie epic.
Oh, yeah. We're doing the set part 2, baby.
The Barbenheimer
Yeah.
duel. Today we're talking about Barbie in a Barbie world.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie
Should
world.
say leaving a Barbie world.
In, out, shake it all about. She's all over the place. Let's talk about it. We are going to do non-spoilers and then spoilers, guys. And fun fact about this movie, did you see this? When you just type Barbie, generally, into Google, the whole fucking thing goes really pink and it's really hard to see.
Really?
Terrible if you're like accessibility, if you have like poor vision.
Or if you're like epilepsy?
Probably.
Is that a thing? Epilepsy?
But like little fireworks go off on the screen as well. So like maybe. It's not great. I was trying to read it. I was like, I can't really see
I
this.
have not had that experience.
Don't.
yet.
It's not helpful.
Yeah.
Well, DL, do you have a stupid plot?
Yeah,
summary for this
I
movie?
struggled with this one, but I ended up on overacting, improv, and trope reversing introspection. She's a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, and Ken's horsetastic. Horsetastic? I was going to say horsetastic in plastic.
That's some big energy from you right there.
Yeah,
mate.
I was trying to channel
I
my
appreciate
energy.
that. You should.
My energy.
Well, mine takes a slightly different route to yours. So mine is the second movie of the year that makes big things small and small things big. Which one was better? You tell us which you expect. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Which one do you think was better?
Barbie world.
Yeah, well, of course. But
Yeah,
you didn't
Barbie world.
I didn't expect that at the beginning of the year. Ant-Man looked like it was going to be great.
True. I do think for some reason I thought this movie was going to suck for a while. And then
I think it was in your most look forward to of the year.
Was it?
I think so.
Oh, we got the receipts.
We're going to have to go back and check that, guys.
Check the tapes.
Yeah, mine were just to remind you all, Killers of the Flower Moon, Dune
right.
Part 2,
Looks
Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Quantumania?
Beau is Afraid, or
Yeah.
otherwise known as Disappointment Boulevard.
Maybe sex tape.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Part 1. Point being,
Yeah, guys, go back and listen to our most excited for of the year. It's one of our first episodes from this year, and they're always a bit of fun.
keep us accountable.
I always steal Drake's because he really wants the ones that I'm going to talk about.
Yeah,
and he's just too slow.
Yeah, I am pretty slow.
Just slow.
I don't remember thinking it was going to be good, but then I saw that trailer where it was like making fun of Space Odyssey 2001.
Oh,
And I was like, okay, they're going to do something different.
That's a great scene in this.
I was like, they're going to do something different because that was the first trailer.
Was it?
It was like
I didn't realize.
them. It was like a full frame by frame
It's literally like with kids.
copy. Yeah,
Yeah. So before we get into it, then, do you want to guess for me the current IMDb score for this?
89.
So it's out of 10, 8.9. You saying? You're
Yes,
changing your mind because it's
Yes.
a different point.
yes.
It's actually 6.6.
What?
I wonder if this is like a bunch of dudes who are like, this is against men. This is bad. But
it's-
actually watching it.
How fucking dumb would you have to be to think that? Because it's like actually against
There are-
all stereotypes.
There are a lot of people like
Yeah.
that in the world, DL. A lot. Too many. Let's not get into it.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess for me the Rotten Tomatoes score?
That's got to be 89.
It's 88. Like,
Wow.
that's more like, I think, realistically
Yeah.
where this is sort of leveling. But then finally, our new version. Do you want to guess the Letterboxd score for this? It's out of 5 and it's a point something.
3.9.
The 4.1.
Hmm.
I think Letterboxd is all user reviews.
Okay.
That's why I like it. It's
Okay.
different. So you've got IMDb, which is both, Rotten Tomatoes, which is both, and then you've got
Straight to the people.
straight to the peeps. Tell us what you think, guys. Tell us how you really feel. Well, this is Greta Gerwig with just an unbelievable cast. We're talking Margot Robbie. We're talking Issa Rae. We're talking Kate McKinnon. We are talking everyone. Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu, Kensley Ben Adair, who
Some
He's the
cameos
bad-
as well.
he's the bad guy from Secret Invasion, and he's actually really good in this. It's got the guy who is the new Doctor Who. It's got John Cena. It's got Michael Cera. It's got America Ferrera. It's got Helen Mirren. It's got
Ritu
Will
Arya.
Ferrell.
Ritu Arya.
It-
You remember her?
Yeah, it's got Dua Lipa. It has everyone who's hot right now.
The girl,
Hot right now.
the girl from fucking 65.
And it's got the girl
baby.
from 65
The kid that can't speak.
that literally can't speak at 65, and this will not shut the fuck up. I really like this movie straight off the bat. I'm going to say it. Like, I had a lot of fun with this, and I was really hesitant going in. So I went to see this for just pure context here.
Yeah.
The partner went with her girlfriend,
Oh, so you saw it separate? I saw it with Gail.
and I went on my own.
Wow.
So
People were probably like,
If
what is wrong with this dude?
you would be surprised how many
Solo.
guys were there on their own in this movie.
No.
I was genuinely.
Don't lie to me to make yourself
I'm
feel
not at
better.
all. So this was we had a global day off at work, and I basically spent all of the morning creating a YouTube video, and then the afternoon I was like, this is when I'm going to go and see the movie. Like, I really want to. It was like mid-afternoon, so it wasn't peak and it wasn't lunchtime.
Yeah.
It was bang in the middle. I think
Yeah.
like 3:00 something, and it was full, surprisingly full. I
It was
like,
full
wow,
when we went to.
yeah.
And it was like weeks after it had been released.
It's still
Yeah.
in cinemas. It's still
Yeah.
going. Still
Yeah.
going strong, baby. So what are you calling out for the plot of this movie? What happens to you?
The plot. Oh, by the way, there's another sex education person, the black guy,
Yes.
in the background. And he like honestly doesn't fit the movie.
I think
I thought he
he's
was like
the-
out of place.
I think he's the new Doctor Who. It's
he?
like
Is he really?
Nkuti Gatwa.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the new Doctor Who, I think.
Wow, that's like big
yeah,
get for him.
huge.
What did I think? Dude,
What's the
oh
plot?
no, the plot.
What's happening here?
The plot is really after being deemed we welcome Barbie
Hey,
in Barbie World, where Barbie World exists because we've solved all pain and unhappiness in the
Yes.
other world as well. That's why Barbie World exists. Don't ask me why.
Barbie Land.
Barbie Land. It's a bit meta. After being deemed broken for having
Because she has flat feet.
existential thoughts of death plus flat feet,
The flat feet's the worst part.
which by the way, like she doesn't, but like she did in that moment, I guess. I
For
don't
that
know.
exact
Yeah.
second, yeah. Mine are flat feet.
And straying from the accepted material image norm, Barbie goes on a soul-searching journey to find her kid counterpart in the real world to fix what's causing her sorrow and therefore her ugliness, for her slow degrade into ugliness.
What did you think?
In this meta comedy, we follow Barbie and her friends on a journey of self-discovery for true worth in a comedic and emotional tale.
What did you think? This is the weirdest voice you've ever done. I'm not sure what this voice is.
This is me summarizing Barbie.
This is me summarizing Bobby. You want to say it any weirder?
I guess if you'd like me to, I can try.
To me, right, this was just like a really fun story
Yeah, no, and it doesn't look. I liked it a
with
lot.
a group of really stupid characters.
I liked it a lot. It did, like, movies that like it just doesn't take itself seriously.
It's got surprisingly dark humor, like surprisingly. Some of the bits in it that like it's a bit like the old movies where you'd get like the
Reminds me of Anchorman at times in really weird ways.
that was one of the comparisons
Yeah.
that one of my favorite podcasters made,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's what this is.
It's very like almost like that's why in my summary I made, like improv, because you can tell there was improv here.
Yeah, there definitely had to have been.
Yeah.
Had to have been. But like you say, the dark humor it's a bit of me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in here. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is bloody funny.
Yeah. Lots of stereotype reversals, investigations, lots of oblivious Ken job interviews. It's the best.
Yeah,
It's the best.
we'll talk about that. The thing I liked about this movie, very specifically, is that this could have been the next name a generic brand movie that kind of got ruined. You know, like Uncharted, G.I. Joe, Transformers, whatever
Yeah.
you want. This could have been that so easily. But they apparently Greta Gerwig, she went to the studio and said, I want to do this. She literally like tried to get this movie.
Did she see that there was a script out?
I don't think so. I think she wrote. She was one of the writers, so she will have written this as well.
Wow. So it was like her dream child, basically.
I guess.
She like, wow, that's interesting.
And imagine getting like Margot Robbie.
I mean, how can you imagine not getting her?
She had
literally
to be.
is Barbie.
Literally.
Like, yeah.
She's even got the flat for wait, what are we talking about? Yeah.
Dude, how about wasn't there a joke about he doesn't have a penis?
Yeah,
It's
I was gonna say
well,
that.
I forget the context, but it's really funny.
We'll talk about this in like world building probably, but like Ken being an afterthought at almost all times in a movie,
Mhm.
up to like the bit where spoilers start. It's fucking brilliant. Like the bit where Ken says to Barbie, like, can I stay over? And she's like, why? I just love it.
Yeah.
And it makes for such like interesting characters.
Yeah.
Really fleshes them out. It's great.
Like on both sides, like we're gonna talk about it later, but the stereotypes, like they investigate like both like male stereotypes and the weight of that,
Absolutely.
as well as female, and it's like in a way where you can really empathize with both sides.
It's about finding yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Not finding yourself in terms of that, because none of them have anything down there, but finding who you are. And I really like that. And these actors were so perfectly cast for this in
Yeah.
many ways.
Yeah,
Margot Robbie, phenomenal. Michael Cera,
Alan.
absolute legend.
Michael Cera's Alan is basically Barbie or Ken's like friend.
Ken's mate?
It's like one of Ken's mates. Like apparently that's a thing in the doll. Like I don't remember having an Alan doll, but
I Googled this before. Who had an Alan doll?
I don't
Seriously.
know.
Like, he
Write
must
us.
have been cut immediately. Who thought Ken needed a friend?
Dude, he's got Barbie.
There's so many other Kens.
Yeah.
But that's it. He has to find out more about himself with
Yes.
and without Barbie. Was there anyone who stood out for you in this? I thought
Ugly-
Simu Liu was weird Barbie.
Weird Barbie. Sorry.
What
Why do
was-
I keep calling her ugly Barbie? Weird Barbie.
Who
Where
was
like her legs
Kate
are all
McKinnon.
splayed.
and she could do the split.
And she's like constantly walking around from the splits. It's
Yeah.
like really, really like aggressive and violent movements. Like, she was good.
She's from like SNL.
Yeah.
She's got that background, and like
That adds up.
she's the female Ghostbusters movie a few years ago.
Yep.
I liked her a lot. There's a really good joke about Issa Rae. I actually liked Issa Rae, who's the president Barbie. There's a really good joke at the beginning where it's like, how did you become president? She's like, ha ha ha, don't ask. Or something. And it's, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You shouldn't know these things. But I feel like everyone in this, even the really minor characters, were really well chosen. They just like, even the ones where you're just flicking through all the way through to, America Ferrera playing Gloria, who is you believe the mother of the child who owns the Barbie right from
Yes.
the beginning. Really great in this. Really like quirky and weird.
Don't love her. She bugs me,
You don't
but
love
she
her.
wasn't like, it wasn't her
Ugly Betty.
acting. I just don't like her as a,
Fair enough.
but she's too like, no, all
Not
the time.
in this.
In everything, she's like that. Like she's just so animated. I don't know, something about her acting I don't like, but
You don't like people who have a bit of like enthusiasm to them. I can see that just by the
no,
way
it's
you
just like, it's not even, it's just like fake enthusiasm. Will Ferrell.
surprise.
Yeah.
So interestingly, there's a theory that this is in the same universe as the Lego movie. Because if you think about it, adult, wears a suit to work, likes playing with toys, could be the same guy. Because if you remember at the end of the Lego movie, it turns out that they're being played, like the toys have been played with by Will Ferrell and his
I
son.
don't remember that.
That's what happens at the end of the
Okay.
Lego movie.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's a big universe they're building here.
Is it the same?
The Avengers.
Is it the same studio?
I don't know. If we've got this.
That
But
might-
like you mentioned before, the Ariana Greenblatt
yeah,
being the kid from 65 and in this
yes,
looks completely different.
yes. She's aged. She's hit puberty.
Aged significantly. Yeah, she is a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, she's more just like
A teenager.
she's like a teenager in the woke era,
She so is.
like with all her like
I'm
terms.
so glad I'm not in the woke here. I'd
Yeah.
be cancelled immediately.
Yeah, I mean, we all would. We all are. We all are canceled.
We probably cancelled already. No one
Yeah.
listens to this, so that's fine. I think the cast really helped the pacing of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
I was never bored with anyone on screen.
And you constantly got new faces
Yeah.
to like intrigue you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were thinking, what is this person adding to the story? Even though it really does more or less focus on the core of, the key Barbie and Ken for the majority of it.
Yeah. Can I ask you why they made Ryan Gosling have bleach blonde hair?
No idea. Just
'Cause Ken
has
doesn't
blonde.
have-
Yeah, he does.
No, he's got brown hair.
I thought the OG Ken was like blonde.
Google it. I'm pretty sure that's
Just
not. I have
Put
one
Ken
hand.
into Google, DL. See what comes up. I bet it's just a very blonde.
I don't think so. It's
But
like more
he's
brunette.
also Beach Ken. So
I guess, yeah, that's a good point.
the sort of plot of the story that we're talking around is
Yeah.
that
There is both.
it's all synergy and happiness in Barbie Land. The Barbies are in control. The Kens are, they're second class citizens. Let's be honest, they're there to be Barbie's mate.
And he's at a beach.
Yes, and Ryan Gosling, he beach. There's so many good quotes from that. But when
I guess he is blonde in a lot of them.
I told
You're
you.
right. Yeah.
but
He's brown
when-
too, but most of them are blonde.
But when Margot Robbie's Barbie starts having, thoughts of death, thoughts of like the afterlife, it sort of comes that she has to go on this voyage of self-discovery to the real world and meets the people who made her.
Yes.
I found that really weird.
Well, it was very meta.
It's so meta.
And they're just like, she's here. It's like, okay, we're just accepting this. Okay.
I think you've got a yada yada over the fact
they did it pretty well too. Like they didn't make a big deal about it. They're
Yeah.
like, this is just normal.
But I don't need to know that.
No,
I
I
don't need
agree.
you to explain a
I'm
portal
glad
to
they
me
didn't.
and-
I'm glad
Me
they
too.
didn't. It was kind of like, it's better that way.
And they got to play on various different toys. Like they had a jet ski at one point and they were on like in the camper van.
I
And
don't
all the
remember that.
different Barbies through the years.
Really?
So when they were going from the Barbie land to the real world.
Oh, you mean in the car? Oh, yeah, you're right.
they
Like it was like
started in the
different
car.
little portals. You're
Yeah,
right, right.
they had to be in different things. There was one
Yeah.
where they were skiing, maybe.
Yeah,
or-
and then they like run, and then they're there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was but and then they were camping at one. Yeah, fun,
Yeah.
liked that. Liked all the different like weird, quirky references. But the world they built for this is like super, super fun Barbie Land,
Barbie Land looks great.
and it's
Bunch of good-looking people
yeah.
hanging out at the beach. I mean, what's not to like?
What's really interesting is that all the toys and the houses were like they were props. They were properly built. And the interesting part about it was they were all built so that Barbie was specifically 23% larger than all of them to mimic, the awkwardness of like the toys. Because Barbie was always slightly bigger than the toys, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So like it was meant,
So they were,
it
like,
was
true to
meant to
form.
look really awkward and a
Okay.
bit clumsy. I really like that.
It did feel that way.
Yes.
Oftentimes.
Did you
Yeah.
did you hear the story that California actually ran out of pink paint while they were creating this movie?
No.
I really like that.
No.
Such a
So they were
weird.
like, what did they do? They were like, fuck.
Yeah, they were like,
Was it because they had bought it all, or was it just like
Yeah,
a
they
random pink
just-
shortage?
used it all on Barbie Land, apparently. Like, who would have guessed? I do like the juxtaposition of seeing when they finally get to the real world, and then it's not, women
It's not perfect.
women have created a perfect world,
Yeah.
and dudes are all just like leering at
And Ken's just
Margot
like,
Robbie.
people respect me. Like,
I really like that. I really like his guy. This might be the best Ryan Gosling performance,
I mean, it's definitely like
at least
the most
comedy performance
out there.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely like have not seen him do anything like this.
One of my favorite Ryan Gosling comedy performances is in The Other Guys. Do you know the one?
Yeah.
Is it The Other Guys? Or
The
is
other
it-
guys is like, but it's with it's a buddy cop movie with
Am I thinking of the wrong movie here? Hang on.
it's the Aussie guy.
I'm thinking of the Russell Crowe movie.
It is. It's that.
Yeah, The Other Guys is the Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg movie.
What's the other one then?
I can't remember who we're talking about.
The Ryan Gosling one with Russell Crowe.
It's The Nice Guys.
The
Fuck,
nice
that's so
guys. The other
annoying.
guy, one word,
What's
one
the
syllable off.
what's the guy on Joe Rogan who's on the
We
side?
needed Jamie,
We need a Jamie. Come on, Jamie. Tell us what film this fucking.
but Jamie's like really good.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
Way better than
need
we
someone
are.
like way worse than that.
Yes. Yeah, so Barbie Land itself was made almost entirely of practical effects and like clever scenic design choices. I really like it. Like it's all hand painted, like especially like the backdrops and stuff.
Everything looks hard.
Everything, but it's
Molded.
supposed to. Yeah, exactly. I really like that. It all
Yeah.
looks made out of shitty plastic as well. I
Yes.
love that. Like the house
Yeah.
that she starts in with like the slide. Fuck, just
What
looks
happened when
great.
Ken like just like goes to hit a wave and then just like flies in the air?
That's
Like,
so
what
good.
is that
It's just a
about?
plastic wave. That's
Yeah,
the point.
But
It's
like,
not a
why
real
would
wave.
it like fucking send him like that?
I don't know.
Send
It's
him.
brilliant. It's such good watching. But like, there is some action in this movie as well. which was surprising to me. I was surprised at like the amount of action that we had. And some of it's genuinely really
I'm trying
funny.
to remember the action.
Well, there was a big West Side Story style fight at one point.
Did I miss that? Oh, I had to pee at one point.
All right, well, we're going to turn things in a minute. And there's like one amazing Michael Cera action scene. If you really want to see Michael Cera do an action scene, this is the movie for you. It's glorious. And I want to talk about it more in spoilers. I think the only other thing I wanted to mention about this before we get there is that I'm glad they didn't use CGI for this movie.
We can skip that section.
No, I'm just
basically completely like there's none. Yeah,
there was none, and pretty much, and I think it made it a more rich world. It was great. I really liked that it was.
I mean, why do you need CGI in a Barbie movie?
I just think there's a universe where someone goes, this needs to be like a Toy Story type movie, you know? Like everything needs to be CGI in this. And also, they didn't CGI a stump onto Ryan Gosling to prove they didn't have anything down there. I'm happy about that. That makes me very happy. Well, DL, let's move on then. We're getting towards spoilers here. Do you want to talk a little bit of tones and or themes?
Yeah, I mean, the tone is like quite jovial. Like it never really takes itself too seriously.
Yeah, I like that.
But it gets like, you know, emotional at the right moment. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't mean that it's a trivial topic they're dealing with.
Yes.
But the actors treat the existence of themselves trivially, I guess.
Yes.
They're not like, they kind of realize they're toys in that way that are becoming humans as opposed to like fully human characters the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a word salad.
That was a little deep. I liked it. Good points.
Tones, though, I mean, it's like, you know, all the normal stuff.
Patriarchy
like
bad.
Stereotype. Well, it's not even that. Like, patriarchy bad, but also matriarchy bad.
Well, I did say
like,
that.
They do both.
There's definitely tones of, like, maybe the matriarchy isn't perfect either.
100%. The whole beginning is, like, an investigation on, like, why that doesn't work. Like, Ken's revolt. Oh, shit. Can't talk about it. 100%. Like, it goes both ways. There's, they basically flip all the stereotypes on their heads and make you think, okay, well, like that one's bad, but also so is the other side. Like in deconstructing deconstructing one, they construct the other and then like make you evaluate that one too.
Great point. And it's not, but that's what I was saying at the beginning. I was like, I never expected that shit in a Barbie movie. You know what I mean?
I kind of didn't until I realized like they've got so many actors in this.
Yeah.
It's got to be something. Yeah.
But then you said that about Ambulance, so who knows?
And
you were like, Jake Gyllenhaal must be good in this.
And he was, but it was mainly like
he was doing his best Al Pacino.
No, he was
She had a great ass.
He was doing his best like, what if I do an 8-ball and act?
That's what I'm saying. He was coked up his tits. I just had over-reliance on your partner and it becoming a toxic trait. Like, there's a lot of that in this film as well.
True.
Over-reliance on someone else. Yeah, there's a bit of that.
Like too much codependence.
Yeah, finding your own path, being your own person. Okay, what are your 3 best 3 words? Why we do this, guys, is before we get to spoilers, we'd like to give you 3 reasons. It's not always 3. We sometimes don't have 3. Why you might not want to watch this movie and 3 reasons why you might want to watch it. DL.
Hi, Tommy.
Hit me, boy.
Tommy. Barbie. Hey, Ken. Barbie.
Hey, Barbie. Hey, Barbie.
Hey, Tommy. 3 reasons. Canergy, baby. I mean, yeah, I loved his Canergy.
I think you're right. I think that needs to be one of our end of year awards.
What do you like use as the? I think the name hits, but you're kind of like, what are you actually trying to assess with Canergy?
Someone in a movie who has energy outside of what you're expecting of them, and it's fun, and it
does it have to be fun?
It hits different.
Okay.
Let's just say it hits different.
Okay.
The energy of someone in a movie hits different to everyone else.
Okay.
And it's a good thing.
It's positive.
I don't know.
Adequately vague. I was
Let's make it up as we go along, like everything else.
Fair enough. Details. The other was the tone.
Yeah.
And the themes, right? Those are the 3 things I really liked. I mean, I guess like if you put tone and themes as 2 as 1,
I was gonna say,
then we could talk about just the mad cast, which is
I've got Margot Robbie as my first one.
There you go. I got Ken. You got Margot.
Beautiful. She like has some like, I know it's very easy to pigeonhole her as like pretty and she's just like she's meteoric because she's hot, but no, the genuine emotion she has in this movie and some of those scenes are like really intense. Some of the like sad ones, especially when she's, you know, thinking about death and, you know, all the things that life really is outside of this perfect land. They hit hard.
Yeah.
And she's good at that. Like, she did I, Tonya. That was insane.
I think she's like, I think she's proactively avoided just being a hot chick. Like,
get it.
She
but what
basically
I'm-
did
yeah.
it in Wolf of Wall Street, and that was it.
I get it. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is though, I still see her being stereotyped as that in a lot of things, and I
Mm.
like that she's actively trying not to be that, even though this movie kind of doesn't help in many ways.
Well, she didn't
If
help
you're-
herself. No, it does. It
if
does.
you're that incel dude who's just sitting there online typing away, you're not going to be like, oh, this movie's probably really deep and it's going to be really
I
great
get
about
that.
women's rights and stuff. But no, you're going to be like, Margot Robbie's hot.
Yeah, but you're going to do that anyway.
True.
I mean, she didn't help in The Big Short, where like she was in that as just
Hot
like
tub.
one scene in a hot
Mm.
tub.
Mm.
That was kind of. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Apparently, that was supposed to be Scarlett Johansson under a waterfall. Someone was telling me. Isn't that weird?
I'd like that too.
I would also like that too. Any of the above.
Yeah.
Get Peter Andre back out there.
But she said no.
I-
She's like, I'm not. I'm
not
too busy for
100%.
this.
Yeah, probably. I'm doing too many Marvel films. The other one was the humor. We talked about it a bit at the beginning, like the darkness of the humor at times.
Yeah.
Really, and I was trying to say, I think that old movies used to have humor for like the parents as well as the kids,
Yeah.
and then the kids when they grow up they realize, oh, that's what that means. I think this has a lot of that.
Yeah.
I think there are like jokes that kids in the future who've seen this will be
For sure.
Oh,
It's very Pixar.
I get it. Yeah. Final one was just Alan. There is a great joke about Alan that I'm going to come to in spoilers.
I
which
don't
made me
remember the Alan joke.
Very happy. Worst?
Worst. I only had two, to be honest. I don't like the main real world woman.
Okay.
I've talked about that already. I forget her name. She's in
Ugly Betty.
Yes, there you go.
America
Ugly
something.
Betty. More Will Ferrell, man.
Give us more Will.
Give me more of Will.
He didn't do a lot in this.
No, he was kind of underutilized, or maybe he just didn't.
I'll talk about him when we get
Yeah,
spoilers. 'Cause there's a thing I wanted to mention about that whole plot line.
And that's it. I don't have a third. Couldn't think of one.
I couldn't
Could
think
you?
of the third one either.
Yeah.
And this isn't really a reason not to see the movie, but like the
Yeah.
existentialism of it, I just wasn't ready for it. It hit hard. And I said, like, I went on my own and I was halfway through this movie like, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this is really intense. The other one I just had was that similar to we talked about Oppenheimer, this just might not be for you. If you're one of those people that's going to judge this before even seeing it, just don't see it. You don't need to, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's not even a worst. That's just a know what you're getting into.
Yeah, 100%. So then, our usual final point before spoilers is our rating system, which we are not going for this week, the Aquaman 2018. We're saying, which movie of the Barbenheimer weekend
Battle.
battle was better? Oppenheimer or Barbie?
Yeah.
DL.
So different. Like, how do you decide? I honestly think
So different.
having like said that we should do this, I now revoke that we should do this because it's so hard.
Oh,
But-
you got to do it. It's your idea.
Which one am I more likely to rewatch?
Yes.
The answer is honestly 3/4 of Oppenheimer, and then instead of watching the back half, I'm gonna go watch Barbie. I think Barbie.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Barbie. I think
that's hard.
it is hard. The acting performance from Cillian Murphy, phenomenal.
Yeah.
I
I think the half of the cast that wasn't in Barbie was in Oppenheimer. The
Yeah.
half of Hollywood that wasn't in
it's
one was in
honestly
the other.
so hard. I think they're like dead neck and neck equal movies.
They are so similarly
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I think as I say Barbie, I go back to Oppenheimer. I probably Oppenheimer, but
I'm going to say Barbie for one reason. The reason I was going to say Oppenheimer was because I could actually hear the dialogue, and I'm like, for a Chris Nolan movie, fuck that.
that's a win.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a big deal. But when you were
love that
talking
show.
about the last 40 minutes of Oppenheimer, like I didn't think there was any like fat in this movie in Barbie at all. I thought there was there was maybe a little bit in the middle where
No,
they were kind of wandering around the real world.
I thought that was some of the best stuff, though. Like I agree with you.
but this was tight.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'd
with you.
probably say this because
fair-
that
it's a
last
fair
40
point.
minutes, meh.
It's a fair argument. I can't. You know what? You've convinced me, Barbie. I'm back on Barbie.
Barbie, baby.
Yeah, I'm back.
It's
on
the
Barbie.
better of
Barbie
the two,
wins.
even though they're both fucking amazing.
Yes.
Spoilers?
It was Mom and Ken
Oh my God. Again?
in the
In the shower?
no, it was Mom and Ken in Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa house.
Yeah, so it wasn't the kid playing with a Barbie who was making Margot Robbie sad. It was the mom,
Yes, the mom.
and she was like, because she worked at Mattel.
I kind of fell asleep at this point, to be honest.
She did, yeah.
Yeah.
She worked at Mattel. That was a little bit that I was a bit like where she was being chased around the Mattel headquarters. You probably missed that
That's
part.
literally when I fell asleep. Yeah.
It didn't need to happen. I was
Yeah.
a bit like, all right, this seems it's a bit on the nose.
Okay.
But like, I like the idea that it was the mom who had the insecurities and was the one who was projecting onto the Barbie land. That made so much sense. Sorry.
In a
Sorry, Matt, we're
metaphysical,
yawning.
in a metaphysical sense.
Yes, absolutely. Best quote in a movie, though. One of two. You tell me which you prefer. My two favorite quotes from the whole movie are, Ken, to be honest, when I found out that patriarchy wasn't about horses, I lost interest.
That's the end. That's a really good.
Or the second one is, you tell me which you prefer. Barbie's in tears, and she says, I'm not pretty anymore. And the narrator says, note to filmmakers, Margot Robbie is not the actress to get at this point of the movie.
If you want your message to hit home.
Yeah. Too great. So what happens is they go to the real world. Ken finds out about the patriarchy, which is not what he thinks it is, but comes back to Barbieland and implements a male hierarchy because the Barbies have not been subject to like any sort of male dominance is the wrong word. Males actually taking a stand, being influential.
Yeah. Basically, the equivalent of
they get one over, basically.
Yeah.
In short, and then Margot Robbie's Barbie has to come back and save all the other Barbies by reminding them who they are and that they're strong, independent women who don't need no man. But a lot of the hijinks and all of the fun comes from the fact that the Kens are actually fighting for a lot of the movie.
Yeah. Basically, like,
out of nowhere, they just start a big
there's just
fight.
like a lot of like competitive beef between the Kens the entire time.
Yeah, and they become the leaders, and they're one of my favorite jokes
by using patriarchy.
Yes.
Basically, Ryan Gosling discovers patriarchy in his journey into the real world,
while Barbie's trying to find her
he's
counterpart.
like, this is great. I'm bringing this back.
He thinks it's about horses.
And he brings so like you show up and it's a bunch of Kens with like horses everywhere. Like literally horses everywhere. And then just like a bunch of Barbies in like maid outfits.
And
it's pretty fucking bad.
It gives for an insanely funny scene. And we were talking about this before we started talking, where Ryan Gosling is stood in a hospital in like a cowboy outfit, talking to like a genuine doctor. Brain surgeon being like, take me and let me do a surgery because he believes being a man
and having like a cowboy outfit
it gives him the right to be a surgeon. And she's like, no.
And he's like,
well, let me do a consultation. She's no.
Can you at least give me like the outfit or something like that?
And like he's been so condescending to this doctor, and
like it's like he doesn't hear the no. You know what I mean?
Funny.
How about
it's so funny.
How about the line where like Barbie's like, Mr. Mattel, and he's like, please call me mother. Well, she says, no, thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, so effectively the Barbies have to go back and reclaim their hometown, their homeland, right? But my favorite joke,
I'm ready for it. I think I know what
in the whole film. I don't think you do.
I do.
There's two. Actually, no, wait. You can tell me yours after. So yours is the one I know. The one you're thinking of. My favorite joke in the whole thing is when Alan is trying to escape with the mother and daughter.
Yeah.
And the Kens are trying to build a wall, but they haven't worked out how to build it horizontally. So they're just building a vertical wall.
What does he say?
And Alan's like, we'll be trapped if they ever learn how to build.
We'll be trapped if these Kens ever figure out how to build horizontally.
So good. And then bloody Michael Cera, in a very Scott Pilgrim moment, kicks the crap out of a bunch of Kens.
Scott Pilgrim,
great
reference.
Great bit. What's your favorite?
Allens have been in the real world before. No one's noticed. In sync, they're all Allens. Even that one.
In sync. I think the best joke in the whole film, though, just has to be the Matchbox 20 song. Like, without question. And I will shoot way down, and I will.
And they're all just like playing the same song on the beach.
And they're all thinking they're serenading these Barbies. It's just so
just
good.
So subtly perfect. Like
so
they
good.
think it's like they think they're so good, and like it's like the guy at the bar.
Yes.
Who's super confident.
100%.
Like that's what that's meant to like investigate. Yeah.
And it's like it's such a greasy song as well.
Yeah.
Like it's the perfect song for that moment. I hope Matchbox 20 get like a bunch of love off this.
I'm
like,
sure they will.
You know how like every time a James Gunn movie comes out, I don't know, Redbone goes to the top of the charts. Like I hope it has that effect. The one thing I would say about this was, and I wanted to get your opinion on this, and you kind of mentioned more Will Ferrell. The only thing that kind of went over my head or got missed was the whole CEOs of Mattel going to Barbie Land. Like,
what were they doing there?
That's the point.
I forgot.
They did nothing. Nothing came of it, and they were just kind of there. One of them got shot somehow.
I forget. It sort
of ends, and you're like, are they still there? Like, did they leave? Where is Will Ferrell right
Weren't
now?
they like trying to get Barbie back? Like, what was their?
They were trying to reinstate the natural order,
Mm.
which happened in the end because
Yeah.
obviously Barbie wins.
Yeah.
Well done, Barbies. But I think the main point of this is that they realize that it isn't Barbie and Ken. It's Barbie and Ken. They have to find out who to be on their own.
Yes.
And I think that's beautiful.
Yes, Ken's Mojo
Mojo
Dojo Casa House.
You don't have to say casa and house. So good. So much nonsense. The amount of horses in that scene
Yeah.
is amazing. I did have a question for you. And tell me this. So this is everyone's effectively stupid in this, or at least all of the toys are.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think they are stupid because they are channeling children effectively? Like they're played, children play with them.
Sure.
Do you think that's why they're stupid?
Yeah, that's actually, I like that analogy.
I think
like that theory.
that was my own thought, DL. I
Okay.
came up with that
You owned
all on
that.
my own.
Yes, you owned
I'm
that.
owning that. And the ending joke, the ending of the film's a joke as well, and I really liked it. You think Barbie's going to like a job interview. She's gone to the real world. She's becoming a real person, but she's actually going to a gynecologist. Subversion of your expectations, primo.
Yeah,
Mwah.
it's always
Chef's
good.
kiss.
It's always good.
Chef's kiss.
No,
And-
this it's a great movie.
Anything else to say about a movie?
No, I loved it.
Had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Better than Oppenheimer. We've called it.
I think we've
We can't go-
established that it's like there's a Venn diagram of movies that like I can say I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I also like my partner also really enjoyed.
Yes.
And they're slim, man. It's a slim Venn
not
diagram.
Westerns?
That's like no, it's not. That's like the opposite end of the Venn diagram. So look, we get along with a lot of things and we have a lot of like shared interests.
Yeah.
Just like films
Not
aren't
one
like
of
shows actually more so.
Interesting.
Films aren't one of them. We just
That
can't figure it out.
sucks.
But this was one of them. So thank you, Greta. What's her name?
Gerwig.
Gerwig. Thank you, Greta Gerwig.
Gerwig. We did take them to see The Northman, and I thought they were going to really like
How
that.
the hell did we get away with
I
that,
don't know.
bro?
And one of your
And
girlfriend's
another,
friends came.
another friend. There was like 3 girls and us, and we
I
were
was
like, "This is gonna be a great movie." And it's the most brutal movie. I actually like that movie.
I like that movie.
But it was
A24. Brutal. Get everything with guns in the air.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Okay, DL, then let's wrap up. Do you want some true or false trivia?
I do.
Okay, great. True or false? According to Ryan Gosling, he accepted the role of Ken after seeing his daughter's Ken lying face down in mud. Is that true or is that false?
That feels true.
It is true. It was actually also next to a squished lemon. Not sure why that's important, but it is. He then apparently took a shot of the doll and the lemon and sent it to Greta Gerwig saying, I shall be your Ken. His story must be told. Which feels incredibly Ryan Gosling. Does it not?
I mean, it feels incredibly like he had an idea for what like this character was going to be in that moment. He's like, he's going to be this goofy dude.
Yeah.
Like he's the dude that falls in the mud and that like he was inspired.
He
I
is
think
that
that's
dude.
that-
And a
that's
lemon.
cool. Yeah.
And a lemon
And a lemon.
for some reason.
Well, a lemon can also be, you know,
True
like,
or
this
false,
guy's a lemon.
DL? True or false? Simu Liu proved that he could do the martial arts chops and the backflip in his starring role in Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, which proved to Greta Gerwig he could do it in this movie. True. Is that false?
Proved or like,
Showed it off.
Like-
Showed his skills.
so she saw it basically.
She watched a movie and he did a good thing.
Yes. True.
That is not true. Apparently, it is false. This is all from IMDb, so it's
This is
probably all
fucking
nonsense anyway.
Dumb.
Simu Liu showed that he could backflip with a demonstration during dance rehearsals. Ryan Gosling's reaction inspired Greta Gerwig to rivalize their Kens in the story, all from a single backflip. We
Fair
didn't really
enough.
talk about the rivalry between them. I think
Or
it's
like the
great.
dancing. It was
It's
so funny.
so good.
How Ken
so
like
good.
kind of just dances everywhere?
Yeah,
He does, like everywhere.
Okay, final trivia, true or false, DL. True or false? Margot Robbie had one request of Greta Gerwig. She wanted to float down from the house every morning. Is that true or is that false?
It's a good idea. I hope it was hers. True.
Actually false.
Oh.
Her one request of Greta Gerwig was that she wanted a slide from Barbie's house that would take her from the bedroom to the swimming pool.
Random.
So fucking random. Where did that come from? I absolutely
Maybe
have
she
no
had
idea.
one as a kid growing up. She's like, that's what I need.
Maybe she did, and it was 20, and she was 23% bigger than it at all times.
Yes.
At least.
Yes.
Ultimately, man, like I had a fucking great time with this film, even though I was on my own in the cinema. Felt a bit awkward for a lot of it.
You had a bit of an existential crisis ahead of this movie.
I did.
Thinking,
during the movie.
what am I going to do when I go to Barbie alone? And then you realize that's your Kenergy.
Interestingly, I was psyched all the way up until I got to the doors of the cinema, and I was like 5 minutes late because I missed the first train. I got the next one, and then I was late, and I had to get a drink, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be... And I thought, like, it was one of those, like, where you're naked in school moments. I thought I was going to walk in and everyone would go... at the same moment, come in on his own. They didn't. Nobody cared. Obviously, it's a cinema. Who cares? But like,
nobody likes it.
I got to the doors and I was like, should I even go in?
Gallum.
Okay, sorry, I don't know why I went there.
Sitting on my own.
Yeah.
Do you want to wrap up the show, DL?
Yeah, of course, man. Again, pass the pod. Give us 5-star review.
5-star review, baby.
5 Kens out of 5 Kens.
5 Kens out of 5. Give us all that Kenergy.
Thank you to friend of the show, Mr. Matthew Bliss of Blissery.fm for editing this episode. If you are a budding podcaster and are thinking of hiring a podcast engineer to edit your podcast, he's the dude.
He's your boy.
That's the man.
He's
Let him
your boy.
know. Email info@blissery.fm.
He's taking over the podcasting world. He's also doing his own podcast now.
Is it still called The Dead Drop?
No, I've forgotten the name of it. It's about his travels. 1 second, let me find this for you. From My Home to Yours is his podcast about his move with his partner's move to Ireland. And it is a lot of fun. You guys should check it out. I think it was like number 5 in one of the charts. We would really like that Kenergy, to be honest,
That's
at some point.
great Kenergy.
So if your listeners want to give us that Kenergy too, that would be great.
Where was I? Yeah, go listen to that. Is it weekly?
I don't know.
Okay, because it used to be twice
Matt,
a week.
slide in here if you want. Slide to the DMs.
You insert that stuff.
Okay. Thank you, DL. From My Home to Yours is a weekly podcast where my wife and I share our experiences and emotions of moving from Australia to Ireland. We also provide tips and advice for other expats and repats to make it easier for them. And my wife is great. She has great Kenergy. Like and subscribe to DDDDD.
So in the end, thank you, Tommy.
Where can they find us, DL?
The podcastassemble@gmail.com or podcast assemble on Instagram.
Or find us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. It's
Get a website.
Podcast Assemble.
There's many places.
Yeah, www.podcastassemble.com. All our stuff is there. Go check us out. Thank you, DL.
Thank you, Tommy. And until next time, my bicep is going to be ripped from holding up this mic the entire time because I lost the stand. So,
Tally ho.
tally ho.
New stand.
Later, Gators. New stand next time. Thanks, everybody.
Tally ho. I wanna push you around, and I will, and I will. I wanna take you for granted. Tell me when she says nothing at all.